You're listening to Short History Shorts audio, where history speaks louder than images. Menkaure, son of Khafre, and grandson of the legendary Khufu, was the last great pyramid builder of the Old Kingdom's 4th dynasty. His reign, though less monumental in scale than those of his predecessors, marked the twilight of Egypt's golden age of massive stone construction. While Khufu and Khafre left behind towering pyramids that defied the ages, Menkaure's own pyramid at Giza, though smaller, speaks to a different royal vision, more refined, more focused on quality and elegance than raw size. It was the final act in a centuries-long architectural crescendo. After Menkaure, Egypt's focus began to shift, away from the sky-piercing ambition of stone pyramids and toward the practical demands of governance, internal administration, and a more nuanced royal image. His reign represents the moment Egypt pivoted from awe-inspiring construction toward the long political balancing act of sustaining a centralized state. Menkaure ruled Egypt sometime around 2490 to 2472 BC, and while his reign may have lasted only 2 decades, his impact was felt far beyond his pyramid. The third and smallest of the Giza pyramids stands at just 65 meters tall, less than half the height of his father's and grandfather's structures. But what it lacks in scale, it makes up for in craftsmanship. The lower portion of his pyramid was clad in rich, polished red granite from Aswan, an immensely difficult material to work with, indicating a shift in aesthetic priorities. Where Khufu and Khafre built monuments to overwhelm, Menkaure seemed to prefer refinement, precision, and perhaps an appeal to posterity on more human terms. His pyramid was left incomplete at his death and finished by his successor with more humble materials, perhaps foreshadowing the economic and administrative recalibrations that were already beginning in the royal court. Menkaure's mortuary temple and valley temple were also constructed with more decorative finesse, integrating sculpture and architectural harmony. Statues found within his pyramid complex, particularly the famous triads of Menkaure with goddesses Hathor and a regional deity, are among the finest works of Old Kingdom art. These sculptures portray the king as dignified, serene, and in close harmony with divine protectors. His depiction was more personal, even relatable, compared to the austere and remote images of Khufu. This artistic turn suggests a king who was increasingly aware of his role not just as a god on earth, but as a visible guardian of Egyptian order and prosperity. Menkaure's representations hint at a monarch whose legitimacy derived not only from cosmic order but from spiritual intimacy with the gods and his people. One of the most fascinating aspects of Menkaure's legacy is the dramatic shift that occurred immediately after his reign. His successor, Shepseskaf, broke entirely with the grand pyramid tradition and chose to be buried in a mastaba, a flat-roofed rectangular tomb, at South Saqqara. This abrupt change symbolized more than personal preference. It indicated a broader transformation in royal ideology. The state could no longer afford the extravagant labor and resource expenditures that pyramid construction required. Egypt's administration had grown more complex, and the logistical and economic strain of building massive stone pyramids had begun to outweigh the political advantages they offered. With the sun cult rising in prominence and the priesthood gaining influence, the pharaoh's divine image was increasingly challenged by a need to maintain harmony between noble families, officials, and local governors. The pyramid no longer served as the central symbol of divine kingship. It was now one of many instruments of statecraft. In this way, Menkaure's reign stands as a turning point. He was the last king of the 4th dynasty to fully embrace the pyramid as his eternal dwelling. His successors, faced with rising costs, shifting ideologies, and internal bureaucratic complexity, could not sustain the monument-building model that had defined Egypt's early golden age. The 5th dynasty would usher in a new era where sun temples, textual inscriptions, and bureaucratic coordination began to replace sheer architectural dominance as the tools of pharaonic authority. And yet, Menkaure's name endured. Greek historians like Herodotus recounted legends of him as a just and pious king, more benevolent than his forebears. In later Egyptian memory, he was viewed not as the end of something, but as a king who carried the ideals of divine order with grace and dignity. His modest pyramid may stand in the shadow of Khufu's giant, but his legacy offers a quiet yet powerful reflection of Egypt's changing values, where kingship evolved from raw demonstration of power to refined expressions of divine balance, humility, and social responsibility. Menkaure's pyramid still stands today, flanked by 3 smaller pyramids believed to belong to his queens. It is a testament not just to the end of an era, but to the enduring power of adaptation. Through him, we glimpse the final brilliant flare of pyramid glory before Egypt's royal vision shifted inward toward the realm of statecraft, religion, and continuity over spectacle.